From the Frederick Keys to the Flying Cows, from college courts to Friday night lights, and from the big leagues of local sports to the little leagues where it all begins. This is Frederick Sports, hosted by longtime broadcaster and sports executive John Hunt, bringing over 40 years of play-by-play, insight, and local sports experience to the mic. Frederick Sports starts now.
See my and now it's gone and now it's back. There you go. How do you do? I see you met my faithful handyman. He's just a little brought down because when you knocked, he thought you were the candy man. There's my tribute to Tim Curry, who passed away today at the age of 80 to start Frederick Sports today. You know, what's going on? 80-year-olds, 2 in a row. They say everything happens in threes, not to bring craziness to the world by speaking it out loud. But that's 2 in a row, 2 days in a row, 2 80-year-old super famous people. Yesterday was Dolly Parton. Today, Tim Curry. I'm kind of closing my eyes and wondering who's going to be there tomorrow. I know that's a pretty negative way to start the show, but that's the way it always happens, always in threes. I'm John Hunt. You found your way to Frederick Sports. Good afternoon. A nice, beautiful day. The Keys are playing at home. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, and we appreciate you joining us on this Wednesday edition, live from Studio 401 on the Everything Frederick Live Network. Nick is on the board today to make sure I don't do anything stupid with these buttons in front of me, and he's going to make sure that I am A-OK as we work our way through the show. If you'd like to be part of the show, and I'm especially kind of calling out to high school coaches or little league coaches around the area as we are into the whole school season. You know, school events are going on, and you know, the coaches, we'd love to have you on the show if you're interested in being part of Frederick Sports or part of John's House. You have a nonprofit, you have a local business, restaurants. We love to have restaurants on John's House in the morning at 10 o'clock. So any of those options, we would love to have you on board with us. And it's pretty easy. You can just hit me up and I'm going to get the right banner up here. See, this is part of the learning and doing this whole thing live. And there it is. It's right there. So I'm going to show you that. There it is. See, that's my email address. And I'm going to make it easy for you. If you'd like to be part of the show, hit me up. rockthewave13@gmail.com. No, that wasn't smooth at all, but we got it on the screen and we learned something at the same time. So again, if you're interested in being part of the show, if you're interested in pretty much anything to do with the Everything Frederick Live Network, you want to find out how to be a sponsor on Good Morning Frederick or John's House or this show or any of the other 15 podcasts that we have rolling. As a matter of fact, 2 people we've been talking about the last couple of shows, Nick and Bella, they have their own show coming up. What's it? Tell me, go ahead, yell it out. Tell me what it's called. 20-something's Guide to Frederick. And I understand it's coming on Friday, so you can check that out on YouTube. You can watch it live on Facebook on the Everything Frederick Live Network. So that's a brand new podcast. You just got a sneak preview of. That's coming your way on Friday. All right, let's get into sports. There's a lot of good sports. Everybody just about won in our region, which is positive, but there's not a lot of other strange stories in sports. I've already been on the soapbox about the whole NIL thing and guys going to the NFL and now, you didn't make the team. You got paid during training camp and now you can go back to LSU and play college football. Are you freaking kidding me? We covered that already, so I'm going to not climb on that soapbox today. How about the Orioles? I don't know which Oriole team is going to show up. The one that showed up against the Rays and beat them 3 out of 4 in the first series and then 2 out of 3 in the second series? Or the team that showed up against the Yankees and got swept? Well, yesterday, the Orioles beat St. Louis 13-1. Chris Bassett, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 1 run, no walks, and a strikeout for Chris Bassett. Jackson Holliday, he's waking up after coming back from his injuries earlier in the season. 3 hits and 2 runs scored. And he did this. It was kind of cool. Everybody was interviewing Jackson Holliday the last couple of days about what it's like to play in St. Louis, because his dad played ball there in St. Louis when he was a kid, and he was a bat boy and running around the field and all that. And so it was the first time he actually played a game in St. Louis as a member of the Orioles since he got drafted. And he thought it was pretty cool, to be able to play on the same field that he kind of grew up. His dad played there for 7 or 8 years. How about Pete Alonso last night? The Polar Bear, 4 for 4, 2 runs, 1 dinger, and 4 RBIs. He's had 31 home runs on the season. And a guy who was in AAA kind of stuck there for a while because there was a backlog at third base. And Carcion Strand had 2 hits, and he hit a dinger last night. There's going to be trouble at third when Blaze Alexander comes back. He is in AAA right now, going through his rehab assignment. Made an amazing play. He basically tumbled over against Durham and reached under his body to tag a guy out trying to steal at third. I mean, he's ready to come back and play. The hand is strong, and he was a hot hitter when he got injured. Broken hand on a hit by pitch earlier in the season. So the Orioles have an opportunity to do damage right now. They are 2.5 games out of the last wild card spot. Cleveland and Texas are the only teams in front of them. Now, only 1/2 game behind them in this mix is Seattle, Minnesota, and Toronto. So there is a whole lot of teams. There are 6, 7 teams battling for one wild card spot. And the Orioles, again, are just 2.5 games out of that. Now, here's the good news. If they play the way they played last night, because the Orioles have a tendency to play down to the level of their competition. And a lot of teams do that, but this is not the time of year for any team. If you're a pro football team, your NFL team, and you're getting to week 12, 13, 14, you can't do that. And it's the same thing, in Major League Baseball. We're down to 30 games left or so. You cannot, exactly 30 games left. So you definitely cannot be playing down to the level of your competition. So they get St. Louis for 2 more. They get the Athletics, the whatever Athletics, that, when you look them up on the score listing of teams, you just see Athletics. It doesn't say Oakland anymore, and it doesn't say Las Vegas because they're not there yet. They're playing in a minor league stadium in Sacramento right now. They're playing in a AAA stadium in Sacramento, waiting for their stadium to be finished in Viva Las Vegas, where they'll play next year. But they are a team that's at the bottom of the American League. And then they get Colorado, who's in dead last in all of baseball. So the Orioles, over the next week and a half, really have an opportunity to make some hay, if you will. 64 and 68 on the season, still 4 games under 500. It might only take playing 500 ball to make it to that last playoff spot, which is kind of sad because they keep adding teams that can make it into the playoffs. But the Orioles, once you get in, everybody's 0-0. And the first place teams the last couple of years have been getting knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. So again, the Orioles with an opportunity to do damage right now, just 2.5 games out. The Rockies beat the Nationals. We just talked about how bad the Rockies are. And the Nationals, I think they're 1-11 in the last 12. They are playing horrible ball. Just 3 weeks ago, we were talking about them being only 2 games out of the last wild card spot in a big mixture of 7 or 8 teams in the National League fighting for a couple wild card spots. And now they're closer to dead last than they are to making the playoffs. So you can, I hate to say it, but you could probably just about write the Nationals off. Are they mathematically eliminated? No, they're not. But it isn't looking good for them right now, especially with as many teams that are in that mix. So, we'll keep reporting national scores, but it's not realistic that they will probably make the playoffs. And the Keys, they're already in the playoffs. Let's talk minor league baseball. The Keys beat Asheville in the first ever meeting between the two teams. Asheville was not in the South Atlantic League previously, and they moved teams around. And then the Keys, of course, took Aberdeen's place, and all of that happened this year. Keys back in single A. So they played Asheville for the first time. They got a 6-3 victory. The Keys staff, not just the starter, but the entire staff, struck out 17 tourists out of the, 28 outs that there are in a game. That's kind of nice. The Keys staff looks really good for the future of the Orioles. So does the one in Bowie for the Orioles AA. In the first ever, again, meeting between the two teams. That's a nice statement to make. Jaden Lowe-Ree hit a home run in his first game after the call-up from Delmarva. Starter Christian Rodriguez, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So Christian Rodriguez, he looked nice yesterday as well. The Keys will continue that series tonight. WAG Wednesday. I'm going over to the stadium after we're finished up here, so we'll get you updated on what's going on over there at the stadium. And WAG Wednesday, Guaranteed Win Wednesday. Now, Guaranteed Win means you get a ticket for any other regular season, Monday through Thursday, non-fireworks, non-playoff game. So basically, if they don't win tonight, you get a ticket for tomorrow night's game, is how it'll work right now, because there are going to be no more home games in the rest of this season. But you know what? Guaranteed Win. Let's go, Keys. Make it easy on themselves by not having to worry about how they're going to handle the fans. You know, everybody comes tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun. And that's a great promotion that they added, because here's the deal. Here's the real deal on how it works in minor league baseball. Tuesday, Wednesday nights are not big draw nights. So you draw a few extra people by saying, we guarantee you we're going to win, and if we don't, you get a ticket to a future game. And then you get a ticket to that game in general admission, but you come back to the game, and guess what you do? Even though you got in for free, you're buying concessions. You're buying merch. You're learning more about the team. You're coming to more ball games. You're meeting other fans. I mean, that's all good for the future of the team. That's kind of a smart promotion, even though they're giving away a free ticket for a future game. So good work on that one, Slater and the rest of the crew over there at the Frederick Keys. It's not like it's never been done before in minor league baseball, but it is a great promotion. So hats off to them. I hope they continue that promotion next year. Tomorrow night is sensory friendly night, and it's friends and family night. 4 tickets for $44, and any other tickets above the 4 that you buy together are just $11 a piece. And again, the sensory friendly night, there's going to be an area of the stadium where they're going to have people that have special needs, and they have issues with loud booms. So if the Keys hit a home run, for example, they won't be popping off fireworks during this particular game. And, there won't be flashing lights and craziness like that during this game, but it still will be a lot of fun for everybody. Friends and family night again tomorrow night. Friday kicks off Country Weekend. It's the cowboy hat giveaway, and there's fireworks. Let's see. Saturday is wrestling night. It's also part of Country Weekend. And JBL, the all-pro wrestler from WWE, will be there on Wrestling Day. You can get tickets in advance to get a special meet and greet, just like we had with Darryl Strawberry a couple of weeks ago. I will be covering DC United on Saturday, but Saturday is going to be a fun day at the stadium. Here's the deal. It kicks off at 3 o'clock with the Guns and Hoses game, which means police against fire department, the Frederick police against the Frederick fire department. That's going to be a lot of fun. And the Guns and Hoses game on Saturday kicks off at 3 o'clock. Then the gates will open for the people who are doing the Wrestling Day. And if they have their special passes, you'll be able to check out the Wrestling Day. By the way, your tickets get you all the way through. If you buy the tickets for $10 for the Guns and Hoses game, you get all of it. You get to see JBL. You won't get to go to the private meeting where you get pictures and autographs and things like that. You will have to pay for that separately, but you get the Keys game after that, and then you get the fireworks after that. So that's going to be a fun day starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All kinds of softball, then baseball and wrestling all wrapped up into one day. And then Sunday is one of the coolest days. It was always one of the coolest days for me as a general manager, because we did this promotion at each of the teams that I worked for, because I'm a big fan a fan appreciation day, doing something, giving something back to the fans on the last home game of the season. And they have a mystery raffle giveaway. So it could be anything from a suite for next year. It could be, a separate batting practice for you and your kid, at a different time. It could be, camp tickets in the off season for your kid to come out and do the Keys camp. And then there's tons of other things that they gave away all through the season. And if there's leftovers, those usually go back out to the fans, extra bobbleheads, extra posters, maybe baseballs, whatever they gave away during the season, you give that all back to the fans. I was always a big fan of that as a general manager. And I think this is a great idea to do on the last game of the season. Now, Sunday is normally a 2:00 start. This Sunday, it'll be a 6:00 start because it is a fireworks night as well. So you get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday fireworks nights. Now, the dogs in the neighborhood probably aren't very happy about that, but because, my dogs hide under my desk. They try to figure out who's going to fit under there first when the fireworks start popping off because I can hear them at my house. Now, usually when the Keys are doing their fireworks, I am in my car. Not that I don't like fireworks. I've seen so many fireworks shows that I'm like trying to beat the crowd out and heading down Market Street before everything gets crazy. So there you go. The Keys have a lot going on this weekend. We're going to get back and we're going to cover all the other teams in our region after we take care of some business right here. I'm John Hunt, and this is Frederick Sports.
Frederick, if you're craving real Chicago-style flavor, Rosati's is bringing it. From their cheesy, loaded deep dish pizza to crispy tavern-style thin crust, every bite is packed with that classic Rosati's taste. And don't sleep on the steak and cheese sub. Hot, hearty, and seriously satisfying. Rosati's has been serving family recipes since 1964, and now you can get it right here in Frederick. Stop by 911 West 7th Street or order online at rosatispizza.com. Rosati's, keeping it real since 1964.
Hi, I'm Jerry Donald, Frederick County Council member, and I'm running for the Maryland House of Delegates. As a council member, I wrote the impact fee law to help build new schools and libraries, the riparian buffer law to make our streams and rivers cleaner. I sponsored a bill to allow farmers to sell directly to the public at farm stands, and I wrote the law that created the Frederick County Board of Health. I voted against the increases to your income and property taxes, and I voted against the expansion of the data center overlay. As a delegate, my focus is to bring your tax dollars back to Frederick County for roads, schools, and libraries. Paid for by Citizens for Jerry Donald, Cam Rayner, Treasurer.
Hot Fired Arts is Frederick's handmade, locally owned art studio where creativity meets community. Since 2016, they've offered hands-on art experiences for all ages, from pottery and fused glass to wet clay and canvas painting. Whether you're looking for a fun family outing, a date night, or a creative outlet, they make art accessible and enjoyable for all skill levels. Stop by and see them today in the Fairview Shopping Center on 7th Street, Frederick, or visit them online at hotfiredarts.com.
How much should law enforcement be able to see when you drive down the street? Flock cameras are raising serious questions about public safety, privacy, tracking, and your data. Now, Everything Frederick Live is bringing the conversation face to face. Join Maryland gubernatorial candidate Dan Cox, Frederick County Sheriff Chuck Jenkins, former Frederick Mayor Jeff Holtzinger, and State Senator William Folden for a special Flock Camera Town Hall. The questions are yours. The conversation starts here. Join us Wednesday, August 26th at 7 p.m. on Everything Frederick Live.
We are back on Frederick Sports on a Wednesday afternoon, getting closer and closer to the weekend. A lot of sports going on the next couple of weekends. I mean, there's so much going on. The Commanders and Ravens play Friday night, the final exhibition game of the season. And I'm a fan of 3 exhibitions. I think if you could get away with 2, that would be even better. And we're going to talk more Commanders as we get probably into next week. We'll start to break down the team after we get through the cuts. We'll talk about who they kept and who they didn't keep. Look, I'm very much, and every team has a quarterback like this during training camp. that everybody gets excited about, said, you should absolutely keep that guy. Remember back in the day of like Babe Laufenberg, and the strike guys that they said, oh, we should keep them. There's always a quarterback that the team says, you should keep this guy. And Kalikamakis, I'm not going to say his name right, the kid from Rutgers. I saw him play at Rutgers. I saw him play against Penn State. I saw him play against Maryland. And he looks really good. And the crazy thing about him that I read is right now, of all the quarterbacks, not just the Commanders quarterbacks, all the quarterbacks in training camp and in the first 2 exhibition games, he has the best quarterback rating of all of them. That includes starters. That includes the guys that are your regular starters. That includes first round draft picks. It includes includes every single quarterback in the NFL that's played in an exhibition game. Highest rating. So, I'm not sure if the coaches see something in him and they're saying, we're going to give this guy extra chances. You definitely would save some money against the salary cap if you end up keeping that guy, right? Isn't that how it would work? And so far, so good. So I'll be watching him closely. I'm hoping he gets lots of reps. Of course, Jaden Daniels needs to get some reps. What did he throw? 1 pass in the last exhibition game against Detroit. And so we're going to see, how much time Jaden Daniels plays in this final exhibition game to get him ready for the season opener against Philly. And again, Commanders' first 2 games are on the road before we get a chance to see them at home. That wasn't what I was going to start the second half with. I was going back to baseball, but it just kind of fit. Let's see here. Bay Sox got a victory yesterday, and they're gaining a little bit of ground. They beat Harrisburg 2-1. Anderson de los Santos hit a solo home run. Caden Hunter, the former key, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. They have 5 more against Harrisburg. Again, minor leagues, they do that 6 game in a row at a different team to try to save money on travel and hotels and all that stuff. And, that's kind of where they are. So they'll have 5 more at Harrisburg. So it's not that far, just up the road a little bit. If you do want to catch the Bay Sox before their season is over and you don't want to go to Bowie, it's probably just as close in traffic, not as much to go up to Harrisburg. And let's see, 3 home runs for Hagerstown last night as they beat Long Island 8-4. Robbie Baker with the victory for Hagerstown on the road on the island. Robbie Baker, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts for Baker. Let's see, Hagerstown is in the playoffs after winning the first half of the season. They'll wait to see who they get in the second round. It's probably going to be the York Revolution. And then if they can get past York, because right now York is the hottest team in the Atlantic League, they will get either Lexington or Southern Maryland in the finals. And Williamsport beat the Ironbirds. The Ironbirds have been pretty hot until the last couple of games. Williamsport now leading. They won the first half title. They are leading in the second half, which is actually a good thing if the Ironbirds don't get first place, because the Ironbirds are sitting in second, 2.5 games behind Williamsport. And because they won the first half, if they win the second half, it goes to the next team in line, which in this case right now would be the Aberdeen Ironbirds. So there's a very good chance the Ironbirds still make the playoffs. They have 3 at Mahoning Valley against the Scrappers in the draft league. And how about the Mystics again? They are now 10 out of the last 13, and they are now tied with the New York Liberty for 6th place, 1.5 games behind the great Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham on that team for 5th place, and only 2 games behind the Atlanta Dream for 4th place. Getting above 4th place would be almost impossible with 6 more games or 7 more games to go for the Mystics. But the way they're playing right now, they're locked in. They're in the playoffs. Now they could move up a couple spots, maybe even get a home field advantage or home court advantage in the first round if they could make their way all the way up to 4th place. 5th place is going to be, a road home court advantage. The other team would get the home court advantage. So Mystics looking really good. They will play tomorrow once again. They beat Phoenix last night, by the way, by 10, 94-84. Same teams tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern. Sonia Citron had 19 and 9 assists from the point guard position. So there you go. The Mystics are also playing good ball. DC United at home against LAFC on Saturday night, which we'll be up there covering that game. So there you go. That's just about everything going on around the region. And, I appreciate you listening. If you want to be part of this, again, pass it on to the high school coaches and the high school athletic directors or assistants. Anybody who wants to get the word out about your teams. And if you want to send scores, you can do that as well. Pretty simple. Just hit me up at rockthewave13@gmail.com. That's rockthewave13 at gmail.com. Or if you'd like to be part of the show or any of the shows here, you want to meet Danny and be part of Good Morning Frederick. You want to hang out with me in the morning on John's House. You have your own local small business. We'd love to have you on the show. We love talking about nonprofits. If you have an event coming up, that's what we're here for. That's what the Everything Frederick Live Network was built for, to be part of the community, to help the community, and to have you be part of what we do here. We'd love to have you. We love having local restaurants. If you have a local small restaurant or something that you just started up, or maybe you've been in business for years, but you're not one of those big, huge chain restaurants. We're not looking to have Burger King and McDonald's on, but if you're one of the local restaurants on Market Street or anywhere else in Frederick, we'd love to have you on one of our or all of our shows. And we've got some great packages that are very cost effective that'll help you get there. At least let you check out exactly what we're doing. So all of that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, pass the word. If you like the show, pass it on to your friends. You can click save and then put it in somebody else's email or put it on their Facebook page or whatever. Say, hey, the show's kind of cool. I think you should check it out. Do that with all of the podcasts, 15 different podcasts on the network covering so many different types of things and all Frederick hyper-local based. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Remember, you are what you watch and you listen to. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm John Hunt, and this has been Frederick Sports.
Thanks for watching Frederick Sports with John Hunt. From the pros to the colleges, the high schools, and the youth leagues that make Frederick Sports special, we're here to tell the stories behind the games, the teams, and the people who make it all happen. Make sure to like, share, and comment, and join us again next time for more Frederick Sports.
This episode is a proud production of the Everything Frederick Live Podcast Network, your home for Frederick's best podcasts, streaming daily on YouTube.